Kevin, otherwise known as Forum BX257, here to bring out our old G.I. Joe toy review, and today I'll be taking a look at the 1985 Commando second version of Snake Eyes, now with this Wolf Timber. Now, Snake Eyes first appears in this outfit in the 1984 five-parter, The Revenge of Cobra miniseries. Interestingly enough, in the comic books, on the cover of issue number 41, he's sporting that very distinctive medieval knight visor that he has here, but the rest of his outfit is still the 1982 style. Within the actual comic book, he's just fully in his 1982 style of outfit. He isn't actually ever shown with this full new outfit within the comic book until issue number 45, which was done in March of 1986, surprisingly. Timber, on the other hand, he makes his first appearance in 1983, the five-parter A Real American Hero, better known as The Mass Device. Snake Eyes and Timber make their historic meeting in the third part called The Worms of Death, where I believe he's actually named, whereas oddly enough in the comic books I don't believe that the wolf is ever named, specifically named Timber. He makes his first comic book appearance in issue number 27 in September of 1984, and that's actually part of the flashback of Snake Eyes' origin, and that's actually more in line with how Timber is actually written on the file card, rather than their rather fateful meeting in the cartoon. Again, that kind of makes me wonder exactly who was responsible for the creation of Timber, whether it was Ron Friedman, who wrote the character in the cartoon first, or whether it was truly Larry Hama, who did the comic book version. Snake Eyes has mostly all dark gray paint apps on him, and because of the black plastic underneath all that, it can be a little hard to see in photographs whether or not the paint has worn off because the black just shows on underneath. However, he does have the one silver part on his wrist, which is his little arrow launcher. Unfortunately, I don't recall him ever using that arrow in either the comic books or the cartoons, so I'm kind of curious as to whether there's ever been an explanation for that. The figure, of course, comes with this signature Uzi, which is actually slightly different than the original one from the 82 to 84 line. As you can see, the barrel tip is actually quite a bit thicker than the original, even though they will look like almost the same mold. This one, of course, for the 85 version, is of course jet black plastic as opposed to the dark gray of original. Of course, the original is kind of what I grew up with, but I really do like the sculpt of this version because of all his pouches, and of course, he comes with this sword and a backpack where you can store the sword on these peg-like slots. As a matter of fact, someone's even told me that you could actually put the Uzi on there as well. Not quite sure how you would do that. Oh, I guess it does fit there. Well, that's interesting. It's probably not intended there, in case you just wanted to hold the sword instead. Of course, Timber has no articulation. He is just a plastic farm animal, if you want to call him that, but he is actually a rather nice sculpt with a very aggressive, mean-looking, snarling face. And despite the very, very light gray plastic that he has, he does actually have a white paint wash on his belly. As a matter of fact, I'm going to compare him to the previous four-legged animal, Junkyard, from 1984. And while they're pretty much the same size, or rather length, Junkyard is actually a tiny bit higher, but Junkyard is also a bit narrower, whereas Timber has a bit of a wider, thicker stance, as he should be, seeing as he's a wolf. Well, that's all the time I have right now. Please check out my Facebook page for more information and behind-the-scenes photos for these reviews. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for next time to see another 1980s G.I. Joe toy review. See you then.